Hello everyone and welcome to another video. In this one we're going to be using Blender 4.4.1 and we're going to be creating some cover art or key art for the ultimate indie program. So what is that? You're wondering, probably, or maybe not. But I'm creating an indie developer program and I've poured a lot of months of work into this now, like a year. It's pretty crazy how time flies. So I'm going to be launching that very shortly on Game Dev TV. And for that, we need a little cover art. So maybe we'll composite it a little bit afterwards. But in generally, I want to create a rocket that's shooting up in the sky with some Embergen type of particle system, some cliffs on the side, and maybe a moon in the background or a planet. And maybe we can get some lighting and maybe I'll even import that into Unreal Engine at the end of it. So ready, steady, go, and we're off. Yeah, okay. So I'm actually going to get rid of the default cube. I know I'm always keeping that one, but I'm going to do Shift A and I'm going to add a circle and 12 segments or something, which should be good. A little bit low poly style. And then F to cap it and E to extrude, S to scale. Okay, I've got proportional on. S to scale, E to extrude, maybe up to here. E to extrude, S to scale, E to extrude, E to extrude, S to scale, E to extrude. Okay, how much? Maybe up to here. Okay, E to extrude, S to scale. I'm going to go out a little bit here. E to extrude, S to scale. And then we'll put the top on here. E to extrude, S to scale, E to extrude, S to scale, E to extrude, S to scale, E to extrude, S to scale. Remember, we need to keep the pointy rockets too. It's from the movie The Dictator. I think they need to be pointy so they look cooler. So that should be good. And now we'll put some fins on it. And even though I'm Swedish, we'll put some fins on. And Alt-E, extrude long face normals. Okay, and I should probably, okay, comma, normal, scale on the x-axis, scale on the z-axis, okay, y-axis, okay, and then move these down, okay, and it's opposite because I've got normals on, so that'll do. But I'll do auto mirror too, so we get this thing. It looks like a weapon of some sort now, but that's okay. Let's just keep it like that. And it's probably too dark, so let's put a different color on it, some metal. Should we do a dull metal for now or shiny metal? Maybe shiny. So something like that. How are we doing? Oh, I'm actually counting up the time instead of down now. I forgot to put the I'm actually putting a timer on it. Okay, instead of a countdown timer. Never mind. It'll still work. Still does the same. All right, I think I also want to keep some emission going on this one too. I'm going to try to make it look a little bit high tech or something. I don't know why. I always think emission like adds to that one. So let's put a little glowy ring at the top here. Control R, should that be here maybe? Control R and then just do that. Alt S to scale and then here maybe some like glowy red color up here. Something like that. And because we're going to have a little bit of a perspective like this too. And I'm going to put some hoses on. That probably looks a bit high tech. So I'm going to do Control R here, Control R, get some more detail here. Here we'll make Control R again. I need some more. Okay, so from here, I'm going to do I to inset and then Alt E to extrude long face normals in like that maybe. And then we'll put like double hoses and connect them down to here for some like odd reason. So Control R, and then I to inset, and then E to extrude. Oh, actually, I need to do here too. So there, I to inset. And should we do like a little bit wider there? I think so. So I to inset. And okay, that one I'm missing for some reason. How come that's missing? I to inset. Oh yeah, B for boundary and Alt E to extrude long face normals. That's good. And then I'm gonna put this on some darker color. Oh, the ice machine is working in the kitchen. Well, ice machine, it's not dedicated ice machine. It's just like a fridge that produces ice. There we go. Okay, now let's put double hoses in here. So Shift D to duplicate this one. I'll do my normal style. Subdivide it, circle, scale it. And okay, why is this one all flipped out like this? Delete. Okay, comma, do global. I'll try this again. Shift D to duplicate it. What is going on here? Right click, subdivide, scale it down, circle. Whoa. Have I got double verts here or something? Merge by distance? No? Okay, comma, global, period. Oh, individual origins, is that why? Circle. Wow. Is this some sort of a bug? What's going on here? Oh, circle. Have I got scale on or something? Why is this so broken? Right. I'm baffled now. Circle. Have I got proportional on or something? No. Okay. Circle. What's going on? Okay, have I got something messed up here? Radius. Best fit. Fit inside. What's going on? Regular. This reminds me of the competition that we had last time when I competed with Grant. I ran into some issues that I'd like basically never run into. Shift D to duplicate that one then. Right click, subdivide. Okay, that one's connected. So let's get clipping, circle. Wow. Rotate Z. Circle. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna pause the timer. I'm not. There's no pause on it. Okay, so I'll have to just keep going. Okay, I'm gonna figure this out. Let's do like a football game. I'll add it to the clock, stoppage time. Because I have no idea why this is breaking like that. I always do this. Subdivide, circle. It's getting more and more broken too. Are all my verts inverted? Alt N, recalculate outside. Right click, subdivide, circle. No. Okay, let's restart Blender then. Ha! Alright, 3 minutes. It was a bug. It was a real bug because I restarted Blender and it worked now. So that was a bug. God. Maybe that's what happened during the competition. I should have had asked to restart that competition that we made when we did that. I did something from The Lord of the Rings. I should know what I did, but I can't remember. Limited dissolve. Okay, now we'll just get this host then. So E to extrude, R to rotate, G to move, E to extrude, R to rotate, E to extrude, R to rotate, E to extrude, R to rotate, E to extrude, R to rotate. Good thing I haven't actually put on screencast keys, so it's a good thing I'm actually saying what I'm doing here. But I'm gonna put the screencast keys on right now. Sorry about that. Sometimes that happens. Rotate, G to move it. Okay, I need to rotate it out to this. Okay, the fin is getting in the way here now, so Control plus a bit. Rotate, G, okay, rotate, rotate, there we go. E to extrude, R to rotate, E to extrude, R to rotate, E to extrude, R to rotate, E to extrude, R to rotate. This is not very aerodynamic, by the way, of course. E to extrude, R to rotate. E to extrude, R to rotate. I'll make these a little bit smaller, I think. E to extrude, R to rotate. Am I connecting them there? No, that's good. All right, so let's make these a little bit smaller to scale them down a bit to there. And then I think I'm gonna actually put, oh yeah, Shift D to duplicate this whole schmoly. R to rotate. Rotate Z axis, rotate again. There we go. This is high-tech stuff. Okay, proportional. Grab this, and then G to move this one. This is not good. These hoses are too long, so I can't make them like this. I need to redo them a little bit. So I'm actually not going to connect them all the way down to here. I'm going to connect them to here instead. I think that's the thing. They're too long. So I'll grab these. And then I to inset, B for boundary, Alt E to extrude long face normals. And then here I'm going to try again. Shift E to duplicate it, right click, subdivide, into edit, circle. Oh, okay. And here we're broken again. B. I see a pattern now. It's when I've done B for boundary. Shift E to duplicate. Proportional off. Let's do I to inset and B for boundary. Right click, subdivide, circle. So it seems like when I've done boundary, I to inset, B for boundary, right click, subdivide, circle. No, that's odd. Something's seriously broken there. Right click, subdivide, circle. Scale it down. G to move it. And E to extrude, R to rotate. E to extrude, R to rotate. E to extrude, R to rotate. And E to extrude, R to rotate. E to extrude, R to rotate. Need to try to get this one in here now. E to extrude, R to rotate. E to extrude, R to rotate. And there we go. E to extrude, R to rotate. 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 And E to extrude, R to rotate. Now I'm going to make these a little bit smaller. Alt S or S to scale it down. G to move it. And I think I want to put double on. That's why. G to move that on. Rotate. G. That's it. And then let's get this one dark too. L to select the linked and Shift E to duplicate that on. And G. And this one I'll need to extend a little bit. And then tweak it. We're up. Can I do circle here? Circle. Circle. Cold coffee. Right, so I've got a bit of a rocket going here, and it took about half an hour instead, but I'll blame it on that little time slip up that we had, the bug in Blender. I'm not going to take the blame myself. Never. All right, but I've got a rocket here, and maybe it's, you know, I tend to add a lot more detail. If I'm not happy with what I see, I just add more detail. I've always done that, even if it's with my music or something. I'm like trying to hide my incompetence by adding more stuff. So maybe this is too detailed now, I'm not sure. But maybe we can, with some lights and some different mood things, I think we can get away with it. We'll find out. So here we go. This looks more like some horrific nuke thing than a rocket that you will travel to space to. But let's pretend it's a futuristic hi-fi, sci-fi, whatever, sci-fi, ri-fi, di-fi rocket. And then this is going to take us up into space. So I'm going to put this one, but I think it's lacking something, even though I've got loads of little weird details here, like this hoses and lights and stuff. And this is not very aerodynamic, but who cares? I think it looks pretty cool. So I'm going to add some boosters on the side. And that might even look a little bit cooler too. And I think I want to add like a bit of a delta shape. I missed that from the old space shuttle days. That looked pretty cool, but it looks outdated today. But maybe I can fuse some of those elements into this one. So let's add a few more details to this rocket. I'm going to save it first of all, Control S, and then we'll take it from there. You know what? I'm going to do something different here. These are always pointy, but for some reason it just struck me now. This is going to be some futuristic drive, so it's actually going to take in air from the top, convert it into combustible, like a bit of a jet engine intake. So I'm actually going to do that here instead. Right, so my sci-fi jet intake boosters are nearly done. Actually, I need to make these darker. Control plus. Fake ambient occlusion for the win. FTW. There we go. And these should probably be a little bit rounded still. I to inset and move them up a little bit. That's it. All right, so I've done the boosters now. And then now I'm going to put some wings on too. Just a little bit more detail here. So let's see how that goes. All right, so this turned out to be a bit of a combination. It's like a rocket, but it looks like a ballistic missile. And it's got boosters on that look a bit like jet engines. And then it's got wings on it that acts a bit like fins. So, yeah, why not? Different. All right, let's put some mountains around it. Right, to get the cliffs here, I wanted to try to get like one of these like eroded and tiered type of cliff faces. And I think I'm going to be viewing it from about this perspective here. So they don't have to be super detailed, but I just ended up subdividing a big plane and then extruding it in sections to get the cake effect, the tear effect. And then I used some clay strip sculpting and just used proportional editing to try to get it so it wasn't like a Minecraft perfect voxel thing. And I think something like this will be working. I'm gonna be viewing it from this perspective here. And then I put some erosion, like debris. These are just clay strips that I put at the bottom here too. I think I'm gonna do a little bit more detailed rocks. So I'm gonna detach a few faces now and just with Shift D to duplicate them and then extrude them up like some separate rocks, I think. See how that goes. Just added a few more like detached rocks, and it doesn't have to look good from all angles. So I think just put like a ground floor, cliffs around it, some detached rocks here on the sides, decimated it, and then to get the low poly look. So I've added a moon. It's a bit rough around the edges, to say the least. I decimated it down from like 1.5 million polygons down to like 30,000 or something, just to keep that low poly look so it matches the surrounding mountains. So I think I did some primitive light testing here in Blender as well. And when I bring it into Unreal Engine, I just hope that it can do it better in real time than this one even does it in pre-render. And hopefully also maybe some cool flames and smoke will add some cool look to this, because it looks a bit just like hovering in the air right now. So I'm going to use Embergen, which I'm just about learning right now actually, so it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm going to try to get it into Unreal Engine as a VDB, I think it's called. It's a volumetric effect rather than just like a pre-rendered sprite thing. So I'm going to try to get that VDB into Unreal Engine and see if we can get that to work in there. Let's have a go. Alright, so I'm gonna have to fast forward this part because I spent another 4 or 5 hours to try to get this stuff sorted into Unreal Engine. So I ended up going back into Embergen quite a few times and redoing my simulation. I wanted the boosters to also emit some rocket flames, and I wasn't too happy with how it was going up the cliff sides. So I think 2 or 3 times I ended up going back and re-simulating it. And finally I managed to get to a point where I was happy, and you can drag the VDB files into Unreal Engine. And then you can create a material, and it's you create something called a heterogeneous volume inside of Unreal Engine, and then you assign that material. But I spent quite a lot of time with trial and error, and I also looked at some tutorials, so I'm not going to show that as a tutorial now. I'd probably confuse you more than I do anything to benefit you. So, but I will put a link in the description to a tutorial that did help me in the end to get it working. So a lot of tweaking, and but finally I was happy enough, and I bounced it around a little bit with the people at Game Dev TV, and I changed the ship into like a green color to contrast a little bit more to the background, and I changed it to smooth shading. But other than that, it's pretty much the same geometry, but a lot of trial and error in Embergen and getting the material set up in Unreal Engine. But finally, with a cool camera angle, I'm really happy with the result now, so this should hopefully work as the key art for my indie dev program. Alright guys, here we have it, finally. It took me about, what, 8 hours or something like that, but I'm pretty happy with the result now. And so what ended up happening in the end is I smooth shaded the spaceship instead, most of it. I still kept auto shading for like some of the edges there, and then I put my Embergen simulation here. It took a bit of time to render, and I had to block it out with a big sphere here, so but you're not gonna see this part, so it was just to clear it for the camera so I could have this viewport. And then this low poly sort of canyon type of landscape. Low poly, but I'm happy with the way it turned out. And then first I actually didn't use the moon that I created. I used the one that's in Ultra Dynamic Sky. But then I actually thought I'd have to use the one I created, so I put that one in there. And then some clouds, and then I've been debating whether to do the day scene. And I think there's a bit of a semi-bug or something, not bug, but it's like if I change the directional light here, I can actually change it to day and night this way. And I don't know, oof. I like both of them. I like the day one, this is the night one, and I like the day one. So I'll let the the marketing team figure out which one to do. Alright, so there we have it. If you're interested in joining me in the Ultimate Indie program, then you can go to the link in the description and sign up to get notified. And I'm really eager to get this one going. And it's going to be a 6 weeks program, and it's going to be weekly calls, and I think there'll be between 6 and 8 total amount of weekly calls there. So we're going to go through different sections of how to get your ideas going, how to prototype games, what important decisions you have to make, how to get all set up, how to prepare for marketing, and how to release your game on Steam. Everything like that is included. So if you've been dabbling with trying to get a game on Steam, then I recommend that you sign up for this program, and I think we could have a lot of fun together and get there in the end together. So check out that link in the description and give it a thumbs up if you like this video, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you soon again when I've got my voice back, because it's going for some reason. But I'll see you soon again. Bye for now.